whoosh. I'm a woman! My bazooka's just ballooned. It's never been inside of me. Happy Taboo Topic Tuesday! By the end of this series, Mum will be a master at saying that. But hello everyone.
Too many T's.
Yeah, there is.
I like my T's.
It's a lot of alliteration. Anyway, so this is the first Taboo Topic Tuesday.
She's showing off.
Of 2019.
Yay!
This is the first time Mum's probably been on the channel in 2019.
It is only, I think, the 14th.
Yeah, but I feel like people have already been complaining at me, so soz about that. But today's topic is... periods! Yay! I'm pretty sure no one says yay about a period.
I don't have them anymore.
Wait, you're spoiling the story.
Well, I think it's obvious I'm 57.
Anyway, so I know this is probably out of all the topics we've done the most widely spoken about. I know I gesticulate, is that the right term?
Fly away.
Gesticulate?
Yes. Yeah, not testiculate.
That happened in another video. If you haven't seen it, you're gonna need to catch up. But anyway, this has been the most spoken about topic, but I still felt like I wouldn't necessarily know who I would turn to on YouTube if I had questions or I didn't know what I wanted to know and that sentence made no sense. But I still thought me and you could have a go at it, give it a few punches, let you know our opinions, have a little chit chat, you know, breaking down the barriers. Barriers? No.
Taboo topics.
No, what's the word?
Perception.
That's the word, that's the word. Anyway, so of course I asked over on Instagram at your guys' questions and there was a blooming lot of questions. So we need to get a wiggle on because we're going to be here all day and Mum's got to go have her eyelashes done. Priorities. Prefers her eyelashes over YouTube, it's fine. Anyway, I feel like we'll start off with an easy one. How old were you when you first got your period?
I was 17 and I was quite happy about it because all my friends were like, oh my gosh, I've got my period. And I was like, well, I haven't got one yet. Psychologically, it did affect me a little bit because it made me feel like, oh my goodness, I'm the last one. Why? And then I found out my mum didn't get her period till she was 19. So
19?
Yeah, 19. And then she was pregnant at 21. So
that's quite an impressive turnaround.
Yeah, so never ever think that you know, you could be really young. You could be 11 and you could be 17, 18.
See,
it's normal.
I don't know how old I was. For some reason, I think I was 13.
13, 14.
Was I? I can't really recall. I wasn't like one of the first, but I wasn't one of the last. I was in the middle, and I always thought that I wouldn't get my period until really late because Mum got hers at 17. So we were like, I'll probably be even later than her because I had no boobs, still have no boobs. One thing I just will say, people always said when I was younger that once you get your period, your like boobs grow. That
didn't
never
happen.
Never happened.
Yeah, mind you, I was a late developer, obviously with periods, and then my bazookas just ballooned.
That's so true though, but mine never had that. This is why when I was growing up, me and Mum were like, I'm gonna wake up one day and have boobs.
Didn't happen.
Still waiting.
Anyway, let's talk about periods.
Anyway, so how did you tell your mum? How did I tell you? Because I can't remember. I remember where I was, and I can't remember what I thought was going on. I assume I must have understood, because I'm assuming that you told me all about them, because I knew what a period was. But like, how would you tell your child what a period is? Like, how does that work?
Well, first of all, my experience. So my mum never ever spoke to me about periods, and because I was a late developer, it really was a little bit of an issue for me.
Confusing.
So, very, very confusing. But my stepmom actually did, and I was 17 by then, and I remember, I mean, she was a witch, obviously, in a good sense, because she gave me some pads. We were going on a camping holiday, and guess what? In the middle of the camping holiday, I got it.
Oh, you got a period on a camping holiday?
Yeah, I go on a camping holiday.
I was at school or at home.
So, to this day, me and Mum didn't discuss periods.
Which is so opposite from me and Mum. Like, our family is so open. I mean, as you can probably see by these videos, we discuss literally everything.
I grew up thinking that it's something that you didn't discuss, and I was slightly ashamed of.
I know, that's really sad, isn't it?
Yeah,
and that is a good thing in this day and age, it's not like that anymore.
It's the opposite, because guess what? When you've got your periods, you can have little babas. And there she is. The fruits of my periods.
That's an interesting saying. How did I tell you though? Like, did I? Because a lot of people are like scared of telling their parents. But guys, remember, your mums had to have a period to have you. Like, if you think about it, half of this world have periods. You're such a bad mum. Such a momental moment in my life, and you can't remember how I told you that I got a period. I remember we were at Lakes. But that's all I remember. I feel like it's a mother's intuition though, you just know.
No, yeah, and I think we celebrated it, didn't we?
I think I was still a little bit
so.
like, what's going on? Because I understand, like, you've gone from being like a child, and now you're like,
Yeah.
I'm a woman! What's going on?
I'm gonna have babies.
Well, I
Frightening,
don't think that
isn't
was
it?
going through my
No?
mind. No.
No.
I was 13 when I probably didn't even know how babies were made. I don't know, actually.
Excuse me, could you down below sex education for Misha?
I'll link it. I did probably know, but I just probably ignored it.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to tell a family member, because I think Mum was happy when I started my period. Do you have an embarrassing period story? Because I don't think I do.
Oh,
I genuinely don't think I do.
The amount of times that I leaked through, honestly, I'm not even going to begin. But you know, it's natural. And once I actually remember with the pad stuck on my bottom, clean pad.
Oh, at
Not
least it
entirely
was
sure
clean.
how I did it.
At least it was clean.
Not entirely sure I did it. Also, the pads. I mean, let's face it. I know girls out there, but my pads always moved up. Because in my days we didn't have.
Mum's got a vacuum of a.
Because in my days there were no Tampaxes, and it's like it always moved up my back. It's just worked its little way.
Did it have
out.
legs or something?
So
So it's not crawling.
So when that happened, leaks occurred. But you know, I just thought, let's go with it. And you know, don't you? You get up and you get this whoosh, and you think, okay, now I get a whoosh when I laugh because I'm weaving myself. So I just crossed my leg and ran to the nearest bathroom.
We need to actually discuss like current period situation.
Okay.
You can go first.
So
'cause you're long gone.
being 57, I have not had it for a little while.
How many years ago did you?
I think because they say, and again, I don't know if doctors would confirm them, they say if you start late, you actually
finish
stop
late.
early.
Oh.
No, the opposite. So my period started to be irregular at about 48, 49, which I think is an average, and I'm now 57, and
You haven't
obviously-
seen one for a long,
I
long
haven't,
while.
yeah, but I'm still going through the change.
Basically, she sweats loads, and I won't
Yeah.
touch her when she does.
Yeah, but that's about
Love
it.
that. Then for me, okay, a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
Love that. But basically, I, throughout my life, had always had very, very light periods, very, very irregular periods, and like there's been no system. I think I had like 1 or 2 years where they were actually like monthly. So they were incredibly irregular. And of course that always made me worry. And like I now haven't had a period since October. But there is reasoning, and for me going on the pill isn't the solution. Mine's actually, again, more complicated, because if you didn't know, I had Lyme's, or still have Lyme's, and I was bitten when I was 7 years old, and that affected my pituitary, it affected my hormones. It's a very long, complicated story, but basically my hormones are all over the place.
But we're getting there, aren't we?
Exactly. So that is like my, oh my god, that's one of my New Year's resolutions, to get my period back on track. Like, I've been to doctors, I've had tests, nothing's wrong with me.
Yeah.
My body just isn't producing
She just
the right
needs
hormones.
to release the egg. It's there, so she goes through the symptoms of a period, but it doesn't go whoosh. But we don't need it to go whoosh yet, do we? We've still got a few years.
Don't worry if you are that
Yeah.
person that like all your friends are having regular periods. Obviously, like, speak to your mum, maybe speak to a doctor, but don't think like, oh my god, there's something wrong with
Yeah.
me just because you don't have a period.
It's-
Because they are very like difficult things to manage.
Absolutely, and I was exactly the same. Obviously, I didn't have Lyme's, but as I was growing up, my periods were incredibly irregular. Once I had my oldest, my periods regulated. So
Should I just have a baby then?
yeah.
And then it's
No,
all
no, no.
good.
It took me 12 months to get pregnant with Anya. And she was done. She was there. Daddy Grimes, Papa Grimes, excuse me. So disappointed.
I've always been the easy child, you know.
has.
Anyway,
Cheers.
yeah, Mum's got her tea. Let's get back.
Green tea.
Topic of conversation. Next up, we have tampon versus period pad. Yay! Okay, now I can categorically say this, as in obviously not this one, but this thing
The specimen.
has never been inside of me.
Oh, that sounds rude.
I know it does. Sorry. My nose.
Sorry for the viewers under the age of 18.
Now it's been inside of me. This is a bit of a waste of a tampon, but my periods aren't regular, so I don't
Okay.
need it.
And can you tell us why, Misha?
Am I the only one that this petrifies. Like, you don't have to be embarrassed that you do not want to stick this up your clacker, because I don't want to stick this up my clacker. Clacker. My PG version of the word.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a lot of questions about people being too scared to use a tampon, if it hurts, blah, blah, blah. I've never got on with tampons. I think I've put one up there once. It hurt too much, so I fished it back out. So I have never gone there. That's just not me. My friends always used to use them, but I had like periods, so they weren't really necessary. And yeah, they just weren't my cup of tea. I stuck.
You're not supposed to drink them, Misha.
Your good old-fashioned period pad, and specifically ones without wings, because my periods were so light. I didn't need the wings, and I hated feeling like I was wearing a nappy. Like,
was gonna fly away.
Anyway, Mama Grimes' turn.
Okay, Mama Grimes' turn. So yeah, I was obviously brought up on well, quite honestly, in my days, used to use roll-up toilet paper. And
we've all done. We've all been there.
Yeah, emergency anyway.
We've all been there.
So when I came to England and I discovered tampons,
my nose actually really hurts from sticking that tampon up there. Sorry. Carry on.
So when I came to England and obviously they were on offer, I started using them.
Come buy me! Come buy me!
But one of the things I remember, sorry, before I tell my story, Misha always used to say to me, Mum, if I use the tampon, does that mean I'm going to lose my virginity to it?
I thought that was always a thing when we were growing up. What is it called? Like your Heimlich?
That's Heimlich maneuver is when you go...
What is it called? Your
Hemlin. I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyway.
H word.
Yeah, whatever, H word. And I don't know the answer, but anyway.
No, but I feel like, I don't know. To be fair, it's not a bad thing.
No.
And then at least it won't hurt as much when you have sex.
Exactly.
Like, I feel like they say that people
like a learner driver
that ride horses, they normally break it. I don't even know I don't really get what it is, but
anyhow, so mine was broken, so there's no point in talking about that.
Okay,
England, thank you. Anyhow, so I loved them, but
I loved them. Mum loved a good tampon.
But first of all, I would say you have to be fairly moist to use them. Excuse me. Because otherwise, you know, like when you're at the end of your period and you try to...
wouldn't work.
You try to get it in and it just doesn't want to
go. You're
going
to get carpet burn.
Yeah, exactly. But worse, I left it in there for a week.
That's actually a major thing that I remember they used to tell us about. And toxic shock.
It scared the living daylights out of me. Yeah, I was fortunate. Everything was fine, but toxic syndrome is something that from that day onwards, I worried, so I went back to the old pads.
I remember at school they were saying, like, don't keep it in for too long, don't accidentally put 2 up there, and don't accidentally forget about it. Yeah. Because toxic shock is it toxic shock or toxic syndrome?
Toxic
it's actually
shock
fully
syndrome.
Serious. I'll leave some links to that more down below, because as we know, me and Mum are not doctors.
Absolutely. But also, just to put it out there, you know, I used it for probably about, I don't know, 10 years of my life, and I was absolutely fine. So this is not scaremongery. No. It's just like with everything.
Use what suits you.
And be careful, be aware. Because I don't know a girl who hasn't left up there.
I mean, apart from me, because I never had up there. But if pads are your thing, you do you, boo. Yeah. If tampons are your thing, you do you, boo. Don't feel pressured.
If toilet paper is your thing,
you do you, boo.
Not very hygienic, but, you know.
I mean,
yeah, did you not hear what they say? There is more germs on toilet paper than toilet seats.
I told you that. Okay, this is something that, like, if anyone asks me what's my biggest fear, I always say...
not being able to have children.
So quite a few questions were about polycystic ovaries syndrome. Now, because of my lack of periods, it's definitely something that has been discussed, looked into, and everything like that. So I completely understand the fear that people have. And just, it literally breaks my heart. So, by medical term, polycystic ovary syndrome is a condition that affects the way your ovaries work. This can make it more difficult to get pregnant, which is obviously my main concern. Not that I'm trying to have a baby right now, but in the future. PCOS can cause irregular periods, unwanted hair on your body and face, and acne, and it's also associated with diabetes. Don't then think just because you have like one of those things that you have PCOS. Go to the doctors. So it's something that we need to be aware of, but don't do a me and like worry about it all the time, because I've kind of come to the point now where I know that's not the case, and I have some symptoms, but I don't have polycystic ovaries, and one day I will have a mini me. Hopefully.
Yeah, and she's gonna be the best mummy in the world.
Touch wood. Should period products be free?
Oh my goodness, what a good question.
I'm intrigued what you're going to say.
My answer is going to be yes, because the pill is free. Am I right? It is.
Pretty sure it is.
It is. It's nature.
I think the thing is, 1,000,000% this should be free,
and
because it's a
condoms
necessity.
and condoms.
It is a necessity.
Yeah.
You can't, like, girls don't not have periods. You can't not use a pad. You can't not use a tampon. Like, you need something. There should at least be the bare minimum that is free.
Yeah, and if you look at the third world countries, that's where a lot of the donations go for, is for young girls to be able to provide the sanitary,
because they can't afford it.
Yeah,
so, and even like period tax, like tampon tax is a thing. Like, sorry, that's actually a joke.
Yeah, it is.
Why? It's mind-boggling.
I think what we should have is in schools, at doctor surgeries, supermarkets, just have an aisle and just help yourself. Yeah,
I understand they need to like control it. Like, you couldn't just go and literally bar and pick up like 70,000
well, you're going to resell them.
Well, yeah, exactly. That wouldn't really work.
Yeah, we haven't got the logistics sorted.
Yeah, so the government, come back to us in like a month or two and we'll have the whole plan. Okay, I don't know if you ever had this. I'm assuming you did actually, but then you were a bit older. But being at school and being on your period, do you remember that being like a thing and it being like a big deal?
Yes, because I was so proud of it, so I wanted everyone to know. I remember changing in the changing rooms of the gym, and it's like, I used to be a swimmer, so I remember girls said, sorry, I'm not swimming today because I've got my period. I was very proud of it.
See, I feel like most people it's the complete opposite, and I went to an all-girls school, but I still understand that for some reason, I don't even know what it is, because literally majority of the school probably has a period, but for some reason,
all at the same time. Can you imagine all those hormones?
It's awkward and weird.
Did you remember, Anya, you and me?
Did we ever
used to synchronise. Poor Papa Grimes.
So, I remember that whole thing of like, you need to go to the toilet, but you need to take a period pad. So you need to leave the classroom with your bag. Like, sorry, why are you leaving with a bag? You need to go to the toilet. You need to do that really awkward noise where you're shuffling in your bag, and then you hear the, and you're like,
Can I suggest something? Flash the toilet if you don't want to hear any noises.
Yeah, but it's such a joke though that we've been
brought up when I do a poo.
That we've been brought up in this culture where like it's not okay to just whack out a flipping period pad. Like, I remember we all had our little secret stashes and like we don't want anyone to find it in our bag. But I hope over time it becomes a lot more normal and it's not like a dirty secret.
And there are lots of nice companies out there, not that they sponsored us, but like
Pink Parcel,
where they're glamorizing it, and I think that's great.
That's so true.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm cool, I've got my period.
Yeah. But also if you haven't got your period, you're still cool, don't worry.
Yes, exactly.
Period sex. This one was actually I can't even talk. This was one that was actually asked a lot.
Okay.
I love how you look at me. Now, I've never been there. Don't personally think I'd go there, but that's just me. I'm not saying nobody's allowed to do it, like you do you boo. I know people say that it's supposed to help with like cramps and everything like that, but it's just I've never been there.
I think I don't necessarily recall an instance, but what I can say for sure is that sometimes, you know, you have an intercourse and it kind of starts you off. Or sometimes you think you finished.
That sentence should not exist in the planet. It starts you off.
And then you think you finished and suddenly the heavens open. You know, if you're with a partner and they know you, there's no hard. Just use a towel, you know. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong.
I think for me, the idea of just blood freaks me out. So that's probably why I wouldn't go there. Because I'm like, blood!
Yeah, if that flows your boat or doesn't flow your boat, that's as long as it's hygienic, that's all that matters, doesn't it? Yeah, and if your partner is cool, then whatever.
Should boys learn about periods?
Without a doubt, for two reasons. One, so they understand what goes on down there, but most importantly, they understand what goes on up here.
So true.
Oh my goodness me! Do you know that a woman in America killed someone whilst had premenstrual, and she got off on the basis of being premenstrual?
My thing is, so I'm trying to think about guys that I know, and I think the only ones that kind of get it are ones that have sisters.
Yeah.
Because obviously they realise it's not so much of like it is a big deal. Like a period's a big deal, but then it's also not a big deal because it happens to majority of people once a month.
Females.
Like it's not the end of the world and it's not the beginning of a new world. So I do think that guys should understand it more,
Yeah.
because then again it helps in the whole like dirty little secret thing. Like it doesn't need to be like that. It's not like a disgusting thing. Like blooming Nora, everyone basically has it.
And hopefully they'll be then more tolerant of our moods.
Mum's just thinking about having a green pass for being an absolute bitch.
Yep.
You don't have that green pass anymore. This next one resonates with me so much, and Mum will understand because we were actually having this discussion the other day. So, treated differently by guys when you're on your period.
Sorry, are you making a statement or are you asking if it's right or wrong?
As in like, do you recognise that that's a thing, that guys will treat you differently when you're on your period? Do you not remember we were literally having this conversation like a day ago?
If they don't want to see you, that means they're only after one thing and they can't have it because it's your period. Bye bye. Is that what you're getting at?
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
They should
like
be more
those.
understanding. They should be more tolerant, but they should still.
They should be the person that comes around with cookies, chocolate, movies.
Yeah.
Not the one that's like
gin and tonic for Mama Grimes.
Oh, I'm deciding I'm going to wash my hair today because you're on your period and I don't fancy period sex, basically.
Yeah.
We don't like those boys.
No.
Those boys don't belong here.
No.
They can jog on. Thank you. Okay, so finally, opinion on going on the pill to control your periods. Now this is obviously what I said about previously, which I didn't do because it wasn't the right decision for me, because of my previous family experience with hormones and breast cancer and everything like that. But it is the sort of thing that if it suits you and if you've spoken to the doctors and it's the right course of action for you, then you need to do that.
Absolutely, but also remember that they do recommend that before you have babies, you should be off the pill for about a year.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. I do know of girls who've got horrendous periods. They really suffer. So it's just looking at the potential risk versus the potential gain. Whichever is greater, you do you.
We love that phrase.
Yeah, we do. But as long, you know, you can't just have one rule for the whole nation or female nation anyway.
Okay,
so I was gonna say, when Misha suggested the subject, I said, I haven't got periods anymore, but actually I really enjoyed it. I feel really young.
Do you mean really old because you don't have them anymore?
No, because it kind of, you know.
Oh, bless your soul.
It's cute.
But no, this is a little bit more of like a girly.
You know, there are girls out there as young as 7, 8, so,
exactly, this is the thing. I want all these videos for, if I was, say 13, 11, 10, 12, I want to create these videos so that my baby self would have watched these and like understood, because I understand that not everyone is so comfortable with their parents like I am. Not everyone can discuss these things.
We did discuss it.
But we want to be your parent in that instance. We want to be the ones guiding you.
And if you want us to be, comment down below. Should Mama Grimes adopt you?
No, you're not having that.
Plenty of place in there. Plenty of room at the inn.
No, there's not. No, there's not. No, they're going to sleep on my clothes.
Anyway, thank you for inviting me to explore this interesting subject.
I mean, you're in all of them, so why am I acting like it's not a taboo topic Tuesday without you?
But, you know, it's been a few good years, so I had to, you know.
I like the whole difference in experience, though. I think it's good to see the change throughout the years.
Yeah, absolutely. And ads as well. They're so much fun nowadays, period ads, aren't they? They really are.
They do make me laugh. And it's like, not now, Mother Nature.
We can do this kind of exercises and not leak.
Yeah, please don't hurt your back though. Anyway, we're going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Can you let us know down below what other taboo topics you'd like us to cover?
Yeah.
And yeah, let us know what you want to see in 2019 from the Grimes Girls. So, give this video a like, subscribe, and we shall see you all next time.
And tell us about your experience as well. We want to know.
Period chat.
We promise we will read every comment. Absolutely.
Yeah. Bye. Mwah.